Hello everybody, Steve Mayne here, and welcome to the Daily Storm. For those of you joining us for the first time, thank you for stopping by. We hope you have a good time. What this is normally is a video series where I go into Here's the Storm and play a daily quest. And while that is true today, my quest is to play 8 games. Usually I do a ranked match with this. However, this time I wanted to play Tyrande. I recently played her in a different video because they just redone her talents, and I wasn't very happy with what they've done. I'm still not super enthusiastic about it, but I think she can still be, to some extent, playable. So I'm going to try and show what I've been using her for lately and walk through my decisions. I realize that this isn't great. She's completely different, and they've made some wide sweeping changes, and I don't like a lot of them. Not a lot of, I don't like some of them. But we're going to queue up a quick match, and like I said, I'm going to go through how I play her and see if maybe that helps other people who really enjoy playing Tyrande too. So hang back, I'm going to queue up a quick match, and I'll be back in just a second.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Alright everybody, we are loading into Warhead Junction. It's going to be Tyrande, Lieutenant Morales, Muradin, Zul, Nazeebo, going up against Uther, Illidan, Chen, Probius, and Vala. This is going to be an interesting map. Now, we have Lieutenant Morales to heal, which I'm happy for, because I was worried that the quick match was going to decide who should be really healing here is me, because Tyrande is still listed as a support. Fortunately, we didn't get that, so I'm super happy. Overall, the match is going to be pretty even. Tanks, heals, assassins, lane push, all over the place. Everything is great.
Battleground initialization in progress.
Say hello
Combat
to the
preparation
team.
advised.
Are you ready? The battle approaches.
A sentinel is always prepared.
So one of the things about this map that gets really interesting for Tyrande is I will frequently know where people are, or where they're going to be
Time
with
remaining.
the production of the
10 seconds.
nuclear warheads.
5,
So that's really
4,
useful here,
3,
which could
2,
make Ranger
1.
great.
Let the battle begin.
Ranger's a talent where the distance that the Sentinel, my W ability, travels increases the amount of damage it does. The problem is I don't really know how far it has to travel to do extra damage, and what this does is, in addition to that, every time I hit a hero, it increases the max amount of damage by 3%. And again, I don't know if that means that, okay, well now it can travel a lot farther and do more damage, or now it just travels, moderately far and does kind of some damage. We're going to take Lunar Blaze, which is going to improve my E.
Yes, of course. In the name of Elune.
We have a down tank. That's not good.
Our ally requires aid.
He be here so I could roam around.
The goddess's wrath descends.
Heal myself. Now my Q has changed. It is a heal, whereas Tyrande used to heal anybody. If she would heal someone else, she would also heal herself.
Caution,
They took that away from her and gave it to ping Muradin.
Let us make
this
haste.
way.
Meet your end.
Assigning warheads for deployment. Calculating completion time.
With haste. The goddess's wrath descends.
So they gave it to Uther. They gave the ability to heal other targets to Uther.
Warheads deployed. Form an orderly line for collection at your
And
convenience.
whether that, they said in the designer notes, they said they felt that was more fitting a talent for Uther to have.
Enemy nuke launched.
Let us make haste. I thank you, healer.
Which may or may not be the truth. I don't know. Let's drop this. Alright, we've got the entire team down. Great.
Yes, of course.
Try that off. I'm gonna take this.
Arming your
We
nuke
need
now.
somebody mid.
All warheads have been claimed.
We're gonna just drop
Nuclear
this on
launch
this gate
detected.
here.
Yes, of course.
So I'll go mid now since nobody else is there. One of the things I like, I don't like being in a lane.
As the
I would
goddess
rather be
wills.
roaming, quite frankly. One of the things they've done with
Meet
Tyrande
your end.
is that the changes they've made, I don't think make her qualify as a support anymore.
Anudora.
Alright. Let's take Muradin back.
For Kalimdor. Anudora.
Select a talent.
Alright, so right here we are going to take consecutive basic attacks to deal more damage. Which I am totally okay with. I'm gonna fire an owl. No, we're not gonna fire an
Let
owl.
us
We're
make
gonna
haste.
shot at it.
My eye is upon
let's see.
you.
So anyway, as I was talking about the heal, they changed the heal so that it no longer heals Tyrande in addition to her target. They said they felt that was more of a frontline healer talent or ability, and okay, if that's how they want to go with it, that's fine. But what they replaced it with was that Tyrande now, every time she hits someone with her
My eye is upon you.
basic attack, it lowers the cooldown of her heal by, it's like 2.5 seconds or something like that, or by 2 seconds. So it goes from 12 seconds to minus whatever she hits anybody for.
Onward.
And
Meet
that's
your end.
not really that good in and of itself. I think they took away something else and didn't give us anything really equivalent to it.
My eye is upon you. Onward.
It doesn't help her at all. The one talent I didn't take back at first level, the Ranger's Mark,
Update.
I find is
Warheads have
also
been
to
deployed.
be
End update.
Tor irisar perala. So be it.
basically pointless. I mean, it's kind of good, but you have to make 60 basic attacks against heroes to get any use out of it.
In the name of Elune.
And I just don't
As the
feel
gods
that it's that good an ability to warrant it. It's there's not enough payoff to it. Alright, well, they were
Collection
able to get
complete.
that. We got 2 of the nukes.
Select a talent. Fort destroyed. Enemy nuke launch.
Muradin's gonna get caught in it, but there's nothing we can do with that. We're gonna take
Update.
Starfall.
A player has rejoined the game.
We just don't have the ability to run as much as I'd like.
Enemy defeated.
thus to the enemies of the Sentinels.
We go up top. Okay, no, Zul's going top. Alright,
So be
I'll
it.
stay mid then.
Gotta hark back.
In the name of Elune.
Alright, Muradin is returned. That's awesome. Let's send that down there and see if we can hit somebody with it. Now, some of the things they've done to kind of keep Tyrande where she was is previously she was built. You could do an owl build, which made the owl do a lot of different things. In a lot of different ways. And you could ramp up the speed and all kinds of other stuff. Or not the speed, but the cooldown and all sorts of other great things. Let's try this way, because I want to see both camps. They aren't taking either one of them.
So be it.
So I'm going to come up here and do this one. And part of what they did was that they gave her... So like, you used to be able to make it so that you could just fire owls off all the time, the owl build. And they've basically taken that away. They've tried to keep some of the things to it. The owl has it built in now that if it hits a hero, if you hit 8 heroes, it'll start piercing heroes.
Select attack completion.
Does it do more damage? No, it just... And it reduces the mana cooldown. So you can get that going on, which is, I guess, nice. We're going to take slows down and reduces the amount of damage.
Deployment complete. The warheads are ready for collection. All warheads have now been collected.
Meet your end.
Your nuke is now ready. Nuclear launch detected. Enemy nuke launched. Kill confirmed.
Alright.
Double kill. Your enemy has destroyed a force.
Let us make haste.
Alright, we got 3 of them. They've got an Illidan up top, rampaging through all of our stuff. I'm going to come over here and see if I can help Zul put a stop to that.
Fort elimination confirmed.
Now, one of the things, and you may or may not have noticed it just there, I don't use her heal on other people for the most part. I don't find it useful. It doesn't do enough healing, and I think it's far more beneficial to use it on myself to keep me alive. Because at this point, and I may have said this, and I'm sorry if I have, and I don't mean to repeat myself, but I'm trying to get a lot of thoughts in here all at once. But I don't view Tyrande as a support unit. I think everything they've done made her a support.
You are not prepared!
Is gone. I think she is an assassin
Enemy
now.
hero terminated. Double kill.
We make a great team. Keep it up.
And I don't know.
Killing spree. Vital signs negative.
I think she's really good as an assassin. If she gets the ability to roam, if she's allowed to roam, if she's allowed to move from spot to spot and hit different lanes, I think she can be absolutely fantastic. The problem is, I don't think they allow for it, really. They don't. She doesn't do as much damage as she should if she's going to be an assassin.
Anudora.
Hellbat, coming
Well
through.
done,
Okay.
my allies.
So is most of our team.
See that hero? Let's take him out.
In the name of Elune,
Nice heal. Trust me, I know.
I thank you, healer. Immediately. Burn with the goddess's light. For Kalendor.
Feel the hatred of 10,000 years.
Killing spree has ended.
I did not. I died once. That's not too bad.
Elimination.
The other thing, I
complete.
think her lunar flare, and then it is the quest I took way back at the beginning. After hitting 10 heroes, it no longer has a mana cost, which makes it really great. And if I hit 20 people, it increases its range by almost half. So mouse is not being down. No.
This fight has only just begun. So be it.
I got some hits on there. That's not too bad. I should be there. That was mine, so I'll take it back.
The goddess's wrath descends. Anudora.
I was hovering the map.
The goddess's wrath descends. Feel the wrath of the heavens. By a knee.
See that hero? Let's take him out.
So be it.
Wolf might make it. I just need.
A fort has been lost.
Descends. Anudora.
See, it used to be that you could take abilities that would reduce all of her cooldowns, and now you just do it, which means you're not getting to use most of her stuff anymore. They need to
Meet your end.
improve her stuff. I'm gonna
Let us make haste.
be really upfront on that. I don't think that she's great.
With haste. For Kalendor.
Elimination complete.
That's the way we do it.
My eyes upon you.
And I
So be
see.
it.
I mean, I'm kind of having fun with it. It's a different playstyle. This is not the Tyrande
Select a talent.
I am used to. It's not the one I really enjoy. We're going to take basic attacks. We'll now cast Lunar Flare. And I think her tooltips are wildly lacking in information. It's her basic attacks periodically cast Lunar Flare. I have not noticed.
In the name of
I just want to watch the world burn.
I think it's against. Yeah, it's every 10th attack against a hero. Cast Lunar Flare. But I haven't noticed.
Of course.
Hell yeah!
They will surely feel this loss.
You know, like I don't notice the thing. So is it that it casts the ability, or does it just give the
Goddess's
effect?
wrath descends.
I think it just does the effect. But again, the tooltips on most of the ability. There's been a couple of problems with this last patch where they haven't been.
Enemy hero terminated.
I should probably use this nuke again.
Be peaceful. The goddess's wrath descends.
Keep destroyed.
You know, it's
Feel the wrath of the heavens.
Vital signs negative. Double kill. Triple kill.
And here I have
there we go. This thing down.
Killing spree.
And I think that's kind of a problem right now, is if I don't have the information necessary to figure out
You have eliminated a keep.
keep up the momentum.
what I'm doing with the hero, I don't know how to respond.
Kill confirmed. Double kill.
That's the way we do it.
And there we go. So, I don't know. I just...
Victory.
And I think one of the other things, like, I think the first three talents are affected by further things down the road. I think that I only fired 2 warheads. How many did we get if I did almost half our damage with them?
Warhead deployment
Give it to
in
the healer.
process.
Always give it to the healer. So, like, I'm gonna go back to the character select screen here in a second, but I think that becomes kind of a... I captured 3 mercenary camps. So, like, my stats aren't great. I was part of 14 of the 21 kills, but, like, Morales was part of 15. Okay, Nazebo was only an 8. 14 there. So that isn't any big number. My stats aren't... Well, alright, I'm pretty close on hero damage. That's actually pretty good. But, I don't know, like, I just don't see it as that great. Like, for example, it's like Ranger, the distance Sentinel travels. Hitting enemy heroes with Sentinel increases the maximum damage bonus by 3%. Well, it says it deals more damage based on the distance traveled, up to 75%. But what it doesn't say is, does the 3% mean that it has to travel farther to get the extra damage, or if it's at 100 yards, it does 75% more damage? So if I hit a hero with it at 100 yards, does it do 78% more damage, or does it have to fly 101 yards or 102 yards to do 78% damage? I don't know, and they don't say here. It's unclear. With Ranger's Mark, you've got a repeatable quest for every 60 basic attacks against enemy heroes. Increase the duration of Hunter's Mark by 1 second. Hunter's Mark lasts 4 seconds and reveals your target. So when you shoot somebody with it for 4 seconds after you shoot them, they're revealed. Now this increases that. It does reduce the cooldown of Hunter's Mark by 1 second, but you go back to Hunter's Mark. It's a 20-second cooldown and it lasts for 4 seconds. Which, on the surface, sounds great, but 60 basic attacks against enemy heroes is unrealistically large. I don't find this ability to be useful. The most I have ever seen this get to in a game was someone else playing Tyrande got it up to 3 extra points at the end of a 32-minute game. And that just seems like not really worth it, honestly. If this were 40... maybe. I think 30 is too much, but 40, or if they made it 60 seconds for a 1.5 second boost or a 2 second boost, I could see that being useful. But again, it doesn't really help. And then they have talents along the line that help out these things. So like you said, when you get to 13, you can either hitting heroes reduces Sentinel's cooldown by 4 seconds for each time it hits a hero, which is great. Again, because Sentinel has a 18-second cooldown. So if you hit the entire enemy team, you can fire it again if you get it up high enough. But that kind of means that you've had to consistently be hitting with owls the whole game. And I don't feel that this is super useful because the owl in its own basic form doesn't do that much damage. And hitting extra heroes because you're able to pierce it is nice, but it's really rare that you're going to be able to hit everybody. I take this one at 13 because it slows and reduces damage dealt by enemy heroes, which I find incredibly useful for escaping or initiating team fights. So I think this is a really good talent, but I don't think it's changeable with everything. And additionally, they remove the talent that makes the area that the owl affects its path wider. So you've got all of these things that sort of help. You've got 3 talents, 2 of them on the same level, that help the owl build, but they don't really encourage you to play an owl build. They kind of encourage you to maybe consider using owls occasionally if you think about it while you might be doing something else. They give you Light of a Loon, increases movement speed, which is great for escapes. And admittedly, if I have to go up against a team with a lot of really high chase, instead of using this, I will use this because it does help keep me alive, and I find that incredibly useful. But you have things here like, okay, like at 4th level, you have to take a Light of a Loon talent. Light of a Loon isn't that useful. Basic attacks decrease its cooldown by 0.75 seconds, which is okay. Light of a Loon removes stuns, which is useless for me, so I very rarely take it. If the other team has a Butcher, I might take it just to kind of keep someone who's been attacked by Butcher safe. But ultimately, Butcher almost always figures this out within the first 5 minutes and just starts chasing me down first, which means this is useless. I take Light of Loon grants spell armor because using it on myself, it gives me more escape. Light of a Loon is an escape power now more than anything else. Over here, we've got Hunter's Mark makes basic attacks splash, which if you're going for Ranger's Mark, sure, that's okay, but it's not that great, really. It's just not. It's kind of interesting, but for the most part, And it only splashes to heroes and mercenaries. If it splashed to minions, that would be better. But since it only splashes to nearby heroes and mercenaries, it just doesn't feel effective or impactful in any way. Just like True Shot Aura, passively grant 10% increased attack damage to nearby allied heroes, and you can activate it to double the bonus for 5 seconds. But when you activate it, you get to see the area that it affects, and it's so incredibly tiny, it's kind of not worth taking. So, consecutive basic attacks deal more damage. And I don't, it's these things where, like, they're kind of forcing you, Light of a Loon increases, what is it, not that one, Light of a Loon healing is increased when you're above 60%. That's great. Except, yeah, I use it to escape, so if I'm using it on myself at that point, I really don't care that I'm not going to be above 60%, so it's not useful. Basic attacks heal target ally. I have to target somebody else in my group, and then again, since I'm now using her more as an assassin than a support, this talent just doesn't help. And again, marked enemies heal attacker. This helps everybody. I'll mark somebody who everybody's attacking, everybody gets health out of it, which is great. And it also makes it so that her basic attacks heal her for 2% of her maximum health every time, which again keeps her standing and gives her some sustain. At 20, we can take Celestial Wrath, which applies Hunter's Mark to enemy heroes hit. But again, I'm assuming it's untalented. It's almost always untalented, but it doesn't say, so I don't know. Shadowstalk, oh yeah, that's the real... I didn't talk about this at all during the game. Shadowstalk is completely different. It now gives you stealth and 30% movement speed. When it's broken, you gain a 50% attack speed and retain the movement speed for another 5 seconds. The problem is, this only affects Tyrande. It no longer affects anybody else. And at 20, it reveals all enemy heroes for 2 seconds, which, while useful, isn't great. Now, admittedly, I do take this ability a lot because it's really great for closing gaps or sneaking up on somebody, or if I'd been able to roam more on this map, I would have gone with Shadowstalk to use it to come up behind people and get kills, to cut off ways of escape and to run people down. I find it really useful for that. And it is also useful for getting the hell out of dodge if necessary, if for no other reason than the movement speed bonus. Starfall does damage and slows people in the area. I think the area of effect on this has been reduced, which feels wrong. I mean, I kind of get it, but like, it doesn't... I don't mind that the area has been reduced quite as much, but, you know. Where was I? Okay, yeah, and then at 20, so you can... This applies Hunter's Mark, which I don't feel is useful unless you've talented Hunter's Mark. But then, why are you talenting Hunter's Mark? Because I don't think any of those are useful. This reveals enemy heroes. I don't think that's great. Basic attacks periodically cast a free Lunar Flare at a random hero near Tyrande's position. So you don't even get to pick who. And honestly, I haven't been able to tell if it's been... What is near? Is it within basic attack range? I mean, because this increased the range of my basic attack. Is it basic attack range? Is it lunar flare range? Is it 10 feet? It doesn't really say. And again, I haven't been able to tell if it's ever gone off. I can do Ice Blade arrows, which gain attack speed but reduce enemy damage dealt. Yeah, your basic attacks against enemy heroes reduce their damage dealt by 8% for 2 seconds. The effect stacks up to 5 times. So you can gut a person's damage. But again, it's basic attacks on an enemy hero. So you're taking an ability that only really functions kind of... All of her stuff is about targeting enemy heroes. She's not a support character. If all of your abilities are offensive and target specifically enemy heroes, you're not a support character. And the problem with that is they have done nothing to increase her damage to make her an assassin. They have only changed her abilities to make her an assassin, not anything else. As I said, though, I still have fun with her now. I use a slightly different... I use Lunar Blaze because it helps me secure kills and get in there quick. This is pointless. I usually go with Light of a Loon, grant spell armor to keep myself alive. Darnacian archery, which helps do more damage to targets. Because again, I don't know who True Shot Arrow is affecting. I can't really tell. The tooltip is not there. You know, it's very vague. Nearby, great. What's nearby? 5 feet, 5 miles, 500 miles? Let me know, because it's all relative. I don't know what it is. I know that when I hit the ability, you get a circle around you that is incredibly tiny and would require your entire team group up in a way that's just going to get you killed by anybody on the other team using anything that even resembles an AoE. And God forbid they have Li Ming. So again, I'm not using this. Also, I don't like when they force you to talent into an ability. Like, why are they all this? Why, okay, you want to do two, you want to do this and make 2 of them two of them Light of a Loon and 1 of them something else. Go ahead. But this is like, well, you're a support hero. You're going to talent Light of a Loon. I would rather not. Honestly, none of these help me at all. 16, I don't think there's any reason not to take Mark of Mending. I don't think any of the other abilities are useful. I think Mark of Mending is great. But then again, I run her like an assassin. So Mark of Mending is the only one that improves the amount of damage I do to the other team. Or this doesn't even increase damage. It just keeps me alive as I'm attacking members of the other team. And it's universal because I can use my Hunter's Mark on minions and mercenaries and anything else. I don't have to use it on members of the other team. So because it has a more open targeting system, I can use this on anything. And I think that works really great. And Elun's Chosen, you have to pick you have to pick somebody else. You can't pick yourself. So again, this just doesn't help me at all. And at 20, again, I don't like the upgrades on either one of these abilities. Shadowstalk, okay, I take that back. I will use Eyes of the Huntress if the other team has a stealth hero who has been particularly annoying. I find, okay, yeah, then this is really good. But for the most part, this is like, well, you want me to be able to reveal the enemy team? Let my owl do it. Let's give my owl the ability to reveal the enemy team. That's a great thing. Let's let them do that. That would have been a really nice level 20 upgrade. Your owl reveals stealth enemies. That would have been fantastic. Not here, but that would have been a really great idea. Between these two abilities, I like this one because, again, it increases my range. This increases attack speed. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen the other, but I'd rather have the range because I want to be able to run away. So, I know I've rambled on here for a while, and I'm sorry for that. I think she's fun. I think she's playable. Do I think she's a winnable hero? I've been doing well with her lately. And that's why I made this video, because I think she can still be useful to people who really like the character. I really like Tyrande, and I think she can be useful and playable if you really enjoy the character. I just don't think they need to change the build they've created, or they need to do one of two things. They either need to ramp up her healing, make it more effective and more useful. They need to make the owl more useful. That's one thing. One thing is all the healing. 2, they need to make the owl more useful, more versatile, and more accessible. Especially if you're going to make it so that, I mean, like, they took out the owl build. They've basically gotten rid of it completely. Or 3, they need to just go, she's not support, she's an assassin, and we're ramping her damage up by 10-15%. If they ramped up her damage by 10 or 15% and just called her an assassin and left everything else alone, and I'm not talking like her ability damage, just ramp up her basic attack damage by 10 to 15% and call her an assassin and just be done with it. Because right now, she's an assassin who doesn't really hit that hard. Anyway, thank you for letting me ramble on. That's my opinion, but I want to hear what you think. If you want to throw some comments down below, have you played Tyrande? Have you been having problems with her? What builds are you using? I would love to know what other people are doing with this. I'm honestly want this to be a conversation, and I'm really curious what other people think. I want to know what people think about the character, because right now I feel like they've kind of screwed her up. I don't think she's unplayable. I just think that they've broken her in a way where they went in and said, let's make Tyrande more Tyrande by taking away everything that makes her Tyrande. And I don't think that was the idea that they wanted to go with. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good time. If you've made it this far, God bless you. If you did have a good time, please like, subscribe, and share the video. And again, I really do want to hear your thoughts, so please leave comments. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.